After 7 seasons, I've managed to beat 90 of the 92 English League clubs. The final 2 teams left on my list are Blackpool and Crawley, who both currently play in the Vanarama National League. So, in order to beat the 92, I need to go outside of the 92, and I really should have thought about this to begin with. With that in mind, I resigned from my position as Rochdale manager and was on the lookout for a new non-league home. I had a small scare a week later, but thankfully Blackpool lost in the playoff final, and if they'd been promoted, that could have gotten a little bit awkward. As it stands, both Blackpool and Crawley remained in the National League, and I'd have to join them. I was off to Harrogate, a side that had just about remained in the National League, finishing 19th in the season that's just finished, but they were the best offer on the table, and I wanted to get my new home sorted early in order to put together a squad that could win against these last 2 teams. Now, it's crazy to think that I was in the Premier League with Liverpool just 18 months ago, but this has been a roller coaster ride. There was zero money to spend, and I spent all of it, with all 4 transfers coming in as a free transfer and a loan move being all that we could manage before the season began. First up was Lewis O'Neill, a Scottish midfielder who spent a season at Dumbarton after failing to get anywhere in the Preston youth system. He should be at his level in the National League though, and could play a key role in our squad. Left winger Wang Dongliang joined on loan from Huddersfield, and he was the only player that they would send, making clear use of their affiliate relationship. We don't really have anyone else who can play on the left, so he will feature for most of the year. Andrew Hilliard joined from divisional rivals Tranmere as our new starting left back, and that whole side of the pitch was a weakness when I joined, and hopefully we've fixed it now. Nathan Culver was our new leading striker. The 22-year-old managed 7 appearances for Wolves during his time in their system, but he looks to be a 20-goal a season kind of player in the National League. I then signed a player who was on loan at Harrogate last season and came to the end of his contract. It was Matthew Bowles who joined, mainly for his versatility as he could play all down the right side of the pitch and was more than competent at left back as well. He started the season with a tiny squad, just 19 players in the first team, and we had 1 star player, 15 bang average, and 3 there just to make up the numbers. This could be a tough season. Due to these limited numbers, I opted to take the tactical approach of playing people wherever they could fit, so I ended up with this very strange asymmetric 4-5-1, but let's see if we can do anything in the National League, and importantly, we need to take those 2 key victories. After all these moves, the season preview had us right in the middle of the pack in 12th, ahead of Crawley, but Blackpool would be a tough opposition as they were right amongst the title favourites. I'd have to get time to get my feet under the table though, as it would be mid-October before the important games came, and like buses, they were back to back. If all goes well, I could complete the challenge on my 41st. Who would be mid-table? We beat the teams worse than us and lost to the teams better than us, and we typically sat 11th after August was all said and done. We managed to squeeze some more wage budget from the coffers though, and made a couple of signings to further fill out the squad. Hayden Parisi joined us from Notts County to provide some much needed quality in the final third. He would slot in at attacking mid behind Culver. George Abbott came in to provide more bodies in the midfield as well. He was once at Spurs but had played for about as many clubs as I'd managed in recent years, most recently at Woking. And finally, Sam Proctor joined from York to provide a second pair of capable hands in goal. I can imagine that he'll be providing plenty of competition to Thomas as the season wears on. After a few draws, we found some good form in mid-September and went on a winning run, going 2 months without defeat as well. This run moved us up to 3rd place in the table and left us in a great position as we faced league leaders Blackpool in the next most important game of the year. It was a one-sided affair, but despite their chances, Blackpool couldn't find the back of the net. In the 92nd minute, however, we did. A ball into the back post was headed goal-bound by Lutz. It beat the keeper but cracked the bottom of the post. Thankfully, the rebound landed on Calver's left boot and we'd stolen the victory. We went straight into the Crawley game with a whole challenge on the line. Inside just 5 minutes, we were ahead and cruising. Parisi squared the ball to Lutz, who found himself in bags of space, and he took full advantage and smacked in a long-range effort that beat the keeper. 10 minutes later, a corner scramble ended with Wang Dongling scoring from the edge of the area, and I put my feet up. However, a mad 5 minutes to start the second half saw Crawley fight back. We couldn't clear away a corner, and they managed to get their first goal. A counter-attack saw more opportunities to get rid of the danger that we missed, and it was 2-2, and then a penalty sunk us and we'd lost the easier game 3-2. It was really a birthday to forget, and I'd had to wait until March before we'd get another shot at completing the challenge. This defeat took the wind out of our sails, and we managed just 1 league victory over the next 6 weeks, and as such we fell down to 6th place. We kept rolling in both cup competitions though, and December saw a windfall as we finally sold a player. We sold second choice striker Connor Carty to Waterford in his native island for what would eventually become £205,000. A sale that finally got us out of the red and into a positive bank balance for the first time in months. An easier run of games in December saw form turn around, and some key victories against struggling sides kept us 5th and well in the hunt for the playoffs. We lost in the FA Cup to Sheffield Wednesday, but league form continued to be good. But as we neared the Crawley game, we had a wobble, with defeat to Blackpool and a draw away at Yeovil being the wrong kind of preparation for the big game. We remained 5th and were the much better side on paper, as Crawley sat down in 11th and didn't look to be making any upward motion towards the final part of the season. We started in similar fashion to the last meeting between the two sides. Inside 10 minutes, Jenkins-Davis sent a square ball into the box, which Calvert put away to give us the lead. But we didn't get too carried away and controlled the game from there before Parisi found himself some space in the box with just 10 minutes left to place the second goal past the goalkeeper, and we had done it. The tracker is complete. All 92 clubs had been beaten, and it had taken less than 8 seasons. Get in! The season ran out quite nicely from there. We closed out the season with 9 games unbeaten and made it to the semi-finals of the FA Trophy, only to lose out on penalties. We ended the season 4th and entered the first round of the promotion playoffs. We eased past St Stevenage and York before getting to Northampton in the final at Wembley. They'd knocked out Oldham, who were clearly the second best side in the league behind Blackpool, and had finished the season quite poorly. I think we beat them 4-0. In front of nearly 40,000 fans at Wembley, we cruised to a comfortable victory. Parisi broke the line and smashed home the opener before half-time, and then found himself in tons of space in the Northampton area just after the break, and we won 2-0. A perfect way to end the challenge. A beaten all 92 English League clubs had to drop all the way down to the National League to finish things off, and then get on Harrogate back into the 92 after they'd fallen out at the beginning of the challenge. There are 92 clubs in English League football, and I've beaten them all.